Hey guys, hope you all are doing well. This may be the last time you are seeing me on this room. I'll be moving to Canada tomorrow and that's the reason it will take little time for me to upload the next video. But before going away, I wanted to make my last video on this room about the M1 chipset. And I wanted to make this video at the day one when this chipset was released, but I was waiting a little bit. I was thinking that let people make some videos, let people talk about some things about this M1 chipset and I'll give my reaction about this. But after hearing some thoughts about these things, I'm a little nervous about the M1 chipset. Not bad way, in good way. There are various things I have to talk about the M1 chipset. People are mostly into that numbers, metrics. They want to see what about all the numbers and metrics on that chipset. They don't want to see the performance, the integration of the hardware and software. They're mostly interested about the numbers like 3.80 gigahertz, 3.50 gigahertz, and they are pretty much into all of those things. But my friend, you have to think about the Apple's iPhones. Let me give you a little quick example of these things. Not from myself. The video is from Jonathan Morrison. He has shared one video where he has compared his iMac versus the iPhone 12 mini. And you can see the video rendering. That video was very high quality. And it took much less time on the iPhone 12 to render than the iMac. And the iMac was also very warm and very loud. Then you can understand how powerful this MacBook Air is gonna be without the fan, even without the fan. Yes, the MacBook Air doesn't have a fan. And some people were talking about the MacBook Air too, that the MacBook Air is not going to be super optimized. It is going to be very warm. But my friend, you have to wait a little bit, see the market, see some videos. Basically the thing is, it's all about the rumors. People are talking about the product, but people don't have real life examples. But I have one real life example to share with you guys. The M1 chipset is not a chipset that is meant to be on desktop from ages. I mean, the M1 chipset is meant to be on the desktop side or the laptop side or personal computing laptop side. But if you talk about the Intel Core i5, Intel Core i3 or Intel Core i7 processors, or even the best from them, the Intel Core i9 processors, they are on the market for ages and they have very amazing desktop computing processor making experience. But Apple is very new. Yes, I know that they have been making the iPhone processors, A14, A13 processors for a decade, but still they don't have very good experience with the computing system. But even without trying a lot at the best, at the hardest, they have accomplished something that is next level. The M1 chipset is basically competing with MacBook Pro 16-inch. There is a Geekbench leak available where you can see that the performance of the MacBook Air 2020 with Apple Silicon is much higher than the MacBook Pro 16-inch. I think from this result, you can already understand how much powerful and capable this is going to be. Yes, I know that we don't know about the heating or the things like that. Basically, the most important thing we're thinking about that is heating on pretty much every devices. Okay, I was talking about the M1 chipset, but the MacBook Air is one of the best product. It's gonna be one of the revolutionary product on the market. So we'll talk about that MacBook Air in a separate video, but still, I wanna talk about the M1 chipset. Okay, I think you guys already understood the power of the M1 chipset. The M1 chipset is not basically a processor. It's a SoC. It has pretty much everything built in. The M1 chipset has RAM inbuilt. The M1 chipset has graphics inbuilt. Basically, it's a SoC. This processor has something amazing that no processor on the market currently have. This processor is an all-in-one solution. You have the graphics card, you have the RAM, you have the neural engine, you have the image processing unit. Basically, the iPhone's SoC on the Mac with a beefed up version. It has pretty much everything on the next level. And the M1 is just the beginning. It was meant for light and basic and mid-level user. It's not for a very professional level. But still, it is competing with the professional level MacBook Pro 16-inch, and MacBook Pro 16 is the best notebook you can get from Apple. Then you can understand if they're gonna make the next level processor like the M2 or something like that, then this is going to be much better for the MacBook Pro 16-inch with 2-fan system, or I don't know what. Let's see, we'll be able to see. Anyway, for now, we have to talk about the M1 chipset. Okay, you guys want to hear the numbers and the specifications, but before going to that round, I want to talk a little bit about this M1 versus the Core i7. Some of you guys were asking me on my previous video that can it compete with the Core i7? The basic and the simple answer is yes, it can compete, but in some margin it cannot compete. The i7 processor is still much powerful in number section. The Core i7 needs much power than the M1 chipset. The M1 chipset can also do the thing, the Core i7 can also do the thing. The Core i7 is a little faster, the M1 chip is not as fast as the Core i7, but the Core i7 is gonna take much power than the M1 chipset. The M1 chipset can do the things in 3 times less power than the Core i7. Basically, pretty much compare every processor with M1 chipset. The M1 chipset can do it much faster, not much faster, but if you are using battery, then M1 chipset is gonna be much faster, much cooler, and it can do pretty much everything in the same way as the Core i7. But if you are going to give the Core i7 the most amount of power, and you are going to give the Core i7 10th generation most amount of gigahertz, then the Core i7 can do better. But I'm talking about the notebook section. The notebook section can't have that much of a power. You cannot get 20 hours of battery life on the MacBook Pro with Core i7 processor, but with the M1 you can get. If you want to buy a computer on the market that can compete with the MacBook Air with the M1 chipset, then you have to spend nearly around $3,000, I think $2,500. And if you spend $2,500 for a Windows or the MacBook Pro 16-inch, you are still not going to get 20 hours of battery life. You are still not gonna get like a very cool system that doesn't have so much loud fan noise. Then there is no option. Basically, even if you spend $2,500 or $3,000, you are not gonna get the same experience of the M1 chipset with the MacBook Pro or the MacBook Air or the MacBook Mini or the Mac Mini, not the MacBook, the Mac Mini. Alright, that was pretty much everything about the competition, because you guys were asking me hell lot about the competition, and the competition I have already made you understand. I think you guys already know the competition things. Now let's talk about the M1 chipsets, processors, capabilities, and also the specifications. Maybe you guys are excited to know about this. Alright, now here we're about the specifications. The M1 chipset is sharing 5nm architecture that is one of the best in class, and the 5nm technology is very good. The 5nm technology will give you much better battery life, much better performance in the thickest possible design. The next one is the ports. You will get USB 4 or the Thunderbolt ports that can support 6K display with that single connectivity system, and it is huge. It can support 6K display with Thunderbolt system. I think that is 30 gigabits per second, and it is very fast. Next one is about the transistors. It's having 16 billion transistors. That means it can process a hell lot of data. You cannot understand how much of a data you can process. Like, you can't even compete this thing with other computers with this much, like 5nm, 16 billion transistors, and the performance is huge, especially with the battery life, so amazing, and the design is super thick. Okay, next one is about the image signal processor. Currently, no other chipset on the market has image signal processor built in with their processor, and it is huge. The image signal processor is very necessary. Whether you are on a video call, you will get much better video calling experience. The picture quality is going to be very good because of this image signal processor. I think you can understand the iPhone is having the image signal processor, and the iPhone is one of the best video recording device on the market. There is no Android phone that can directly compete with the iPhone. Next one is the unfilled memory architecture. As I already told you, the M1 chipset is not basically a processor, it's a SoC, and as it's a SoC, it has pretty much everything built in. The image signal processor is on that SoC, unfilled memory architecture on that SoC. Basically, you can get 2 sticks of DDR4 RAM on that chipset. Because that RAM is built into the chipset, they don't need to fly through a long way to get all the data. They can basically get all the data of the single place. It's not necessary that the processor need to run from one place to another place to find data. They can get all the data at the same place, and it is going to be very fast. That's the reason the memory architecture, I mean the RAM architecture, is amazing on the market. No other processors are giving this kind of RAM connectivity with the processor right now, and the M1 is the fast computing system or the SoC on the laptop side that is providing the RAM into themselves. Basically, the tech industry is currently thrilled about this chipset. Anyway, I have talked about a lot of things, but I haven't counted all the numbers because there are 14 plus things that I wanted to talk about. The 7th one is the 16-core neural engine with 15x power with 11 trillion operations per second. 11 trillion operations per second, and it is insane amount of numbers. That means that it can process a hell lot of data in a very short time, and Apple has done something that when the computer needs a lot of data, it can process the data in a very fast way. When they don't need it, they will go with a slower rate that will help you to reduce the battery life consumptions. Anyway, the next one is the CPU core and the GPU core. You will get up to 8 core CPU and 8 core GPU with the M1 chipset, and basically it's the beginning. As I already told you, it's the beginning, and the beginning has 8 core CPU. I don't know, the next one could be 18 core or 16 core or 12 core, who knows. Anyway, we'll be able to see that. And next one is video processing. Basically, this M1 chipset is going to give them 3.7x video processing capability, and in terms of photo processing, whoever is doing photography work like that, they can get 7.1 times faster performance than before, like the Intel processors. If you have an Intel processor, now you can expect 7.1x faster performance with this new M1 chipset. Anyway, the next one is the CPU performance. The M1 chipset can give you pretty much full power with 25% less battery or power consumptions, and the GPU can provide you full power with 33% less battery consumption and power consumption, and it is huge. And you will get 3x GPU performance per watt. That means you will get much performance for less energy or less battery life, and these are the reasons why you will get much better battery life. Anyway, everything I have talked about in this video is also available in the description. You may want to check the description for better understanding. Maybe you haven't understood something because this video was pretty complicated. You can comment down your thoughts about the M1 chipset. Anyway, that was all. Goodbye.